Morning, Reaper. Morning, Fine. Top of the morning, top of the morning. Oh, missed a little thing on this chart, and it's a bummer. I was sitting here this morning or earlier with a cup of coffee, thinking to myself, like, well, for sure we gotta come here, right? Like it would make so much sense to me that we just come there, which could still happen. Um, but I did miss as I was booting up the stream this morning. I was like, why did we roll around before that? Why did we roll around before that? Because you have like a 10-minute break in structure right here. And so I'm like, why did we roll around before that? What is that all about? Well, there is a 10-minute order block with imbalance right at the top of the range. That asshole. I think that asshole did it. Bastard. Absolute bastard. I missed it. I missed it. Oh well. Oh well. All right, so backing out a little bit, Anthony Soprano, top of the morning, forget about it, top of the morning, Jim Young, nos X, no X, no, it's just, there's no matter how I say it, I'm gonna sound dumb. And I did have a good birthday yesterday. Yeah, it was not bad. It was not bad. We had a good time. Um, all right, so yesterday, shorting out of this area, kind of targeting some of this stuff at the bottom. I think I pulled out here ish. We got down here. We didn't actually sweep the low either. And I checked the Binance chart. I checked out other couple charts. You know what I didn't check is the Coinbase chart. Let's check the Coinbase chart. I don't think we ever took that low. No, we didn't. Which is a problem. That's a problem. And I mean, at this point, it looks like we're coming back for both of these guys. Um, this area in price right here, it just looks like retail trying to force price up, trying to force price up. This all looks super easy to run, in my opinion. I don't really see any resistance in that area. Do not see any resistance in that area. So generally speaking, I don't like this because we neither took the high nor did we take the low. I don't like that because and we're breaking here. So I say probability is here, but possibility is still here, and even honestly then here. Um, so this is a little bit of a tricky area. A little bit of a tricky area. Let's start putting some ideas together. Um, all right, so you got this little sucker right here. It's not very strong supply. I wouldn't call home about that. But I would say that if you can push through it, then hold on, let me get this other gray box out of the way. Okay, I'm gonna look at it this way. You're gonna push through both of these guys to even take a crack at this or this up here. Um, that's what would have to happen right now. So I suppose on the short side of business, I love only covering that. I feel much better about covering something like this, but here's our other problem. I would say that from the low, to the high. This low is pretty important. That's kind of the first one that breaks, but I would say the second one is actually pretty important. So the second one could provide us with kind of a ranging kind of behavior. And see, what I'm afraid of is if we don't close below this. Well, would you look at that? That 30-minute candle already closed below there. And that structure point is indeed the most relevant structure point from the low to the high. That is your highest time frame structure on that leg. We have closed a 30-minute below it. Yeah, you know, and again, it doesn't have to come up here. It can roll over right where we're at. It can roll over right here. There's just a little bit of supply in this area, and I was like, mitigation here could be cool. Yeah, and then I like this approach better because if I was even going to long this in the near interim, I would have to clear this, breaking the structure from here. And I still have really local targets, so I don't see the risk to reward there. I don't see the risk to reward there. I really don't. Yeah, so I feel as though this is the more appropriate way to approach this area, right or wrong. I feel like that's the more appropriate way to approach this area on the Bitcoins. Yeah, whatever. I guess if you come to here, it's just the stop loss kind of sucks. This is the only way I could refine that stop loss would be to there. I suppose that does make sense. Yeah. I think that's it's the more sensible way to play this. It's just we have a little bit of trouble because you see how I don't know. I mean, I just see I see quite a few long orders getting filled currently right beneath this low. And this is where I would have had my stop loss by the time price achieved up here. And so if market makers are filling long positions where stop losses are, that could be problematic. I still think this is the most reasonable way to look at the chart today. Let's back out for a moment and make sure I'm not missing anything on the higher time frames. Yeah, because we still have a weak low beneath us. And this is still a strong high. Yeah, I suppose it's probably best to look at this as a short. Yeah. That's what I would expect. All right, Dylan, VA, hi. How you doing? EXO. Aaron, Tommy Lee, thanks for the happy belated birthdays, and yeah, wasn't bad, had a good one. Okay, so let's think about this again. Okay, so market right first on market open, you had his full range rotation, right? Because you had this guy sweep on market open, and then we came right up and swept that on market open. And then we came down and kind of broke these lows. So these are the entries from market open on a Thursday that so far have the most control. Yeah, I still feel like I gotta lean short here, man. I feel, yeah. Yep, we leaning. All right. I don't think I have anything else on Bitcoin. I mean, like, I guess we could talk about like potential trades that aren't, in the immediate future, stuff that's further down the line. But outside of that, I don't think I have anything else to talk about. So yeah, let me know if you guys got something that you want to chat about. Questions about this TA? Taking a look at a different chart. What happened to Sui yesterday? Kind of approaching the first point that I would be looking to long on Sui would be between that low that I've marked in demand somewhere in and about these regions. Yeah, looks like you'll have some okay structure by the time you get down there too. High, yeah, here. And I think it could turn up after that. I think it really could turn up after that. Um, Obviously, structural will tell you whether or not that's true. But yeah, I think it could. Hey, thanks. Glad you like my background. Just some cheap AI videos. I still don't have my glasses. Still haven't found those. Can we take a look at Sol hit TP1? And I'm looking for 193 for a full TP, short from 201.45. Okay, okay, that sounds legitimate. Short from 201. Okay, short from 201. Full TP 193. Well, I mean, you're going to get that. But I quite likely, I feel like you're going to get lower than that on this chart. Um, yeah, quite likely, I feel like you will get lower than that. After a loss of this yesterday, that confirmed supply in this area. You've mitigated that supply. Okay, so we come back down into demand. We lift, breaking here. But it's a poor lift. No inefficiencies or fair value gaps being created. Looks very retail. When we come up, down, first start breaking structure around here. Little back test in, boom. All of that goes to say that a significant loss of this low is going to be deeper than 50% into demand. So we can cut, I would cut that out. Demand should have worked here and should have taken price above here. It didn't do that. So I don't have a lot of hope in it. I think the last hope you have left, the bulls have left, is this low, followed by this low at 189. And if 189 don't hold, then I think we're back to 176. Let's go out a little further. And honestly, probably 167. And I like 167 better because we set a high, we set a low. This low has a job to do, and its job is to break the prior high. If you go to the daily chart, I think that's what we were on yesterday. You can't close a daily candle body above the prior swing high, placing weakness on the low that created the high. Yeah, I mean, for me, if I was in that, I'd be watching the structure, and I think I'd ultimately be targeting as low as 167. As low as 167. Now you're in this 201 sort of area here. Let's get rid of some of these highlighters, and let's get rid of brushes. There we go, much better. Yeah, so your highest time frame structure between here and here that would break to take you back to this high, aka above your entry, is this high right here, that one. You got to break that still. So yeah, I mean, to me, if you lose this low, you're going to back test into here and continue to drive down. Question mark, what happens at 189? I suspect an initiation, mitigation, continuation of some manner to happen there. That's what I would put. That's, I mean, that I would say that's the more likely scenario. Um, so yeah, now, I mean, like, is there anything wrong with paying yourself at like 193? No, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that at all whatsoever. Don't lose money on that trade. You're doing great. But I suspect you are going to have an opportunity to drive that lower. So what we have from, oh yeah, especially if you break this guy. Absolutely, if you break this guy. Um, then you're coming down to areas like that because that is your highest time frame structure all the way to the top. See, we haven't touched the top again, so that's your highest time frame structure on this leg here. So if you lose this with a nice camel body close, even if you retrace in, I would expect further drive down. That's cool. That's cool. I'm glad you're in a short on that. I think you're gonna do well. Oh, I do. I think you're gonna do well. Yeah. Yeah, I suspect you'll do well on that. Um, I look younger today. Okay, so Alex, I saw the video that you sent me. Now, I had my settings were allow everyone to redirect to you. I changed that off, and then like I added your YouTube channel as the only YouTube channel that is allowed to redirect to me. So like I tried a different setting, bro. I have no idea if it's gonna work. None whatsoever. I can't with that shit. Hype looks to have taken the low, but then failed to take the high. Does it come back down to somewhere around $20? Are we in the hot dog and not the buns? Let's take a look at hype. Okay, so he says, I am making it public. I am making it public. Yeah. We'll go over. I'll send you like a bunch of screenshots or whatever of what I got, and both in OBS on when I'm creating the stream, and then like in YouTube Studio, and we'll see what we can see. Okay, so hype looks to have taken a low, but then failed to take the high. Taking a low, but then failed to $20. $20. Um, I don't know. I don't know. See, the trouble is I'm not so sure what Tom Lee is referring to as um, taken a low. So you've taken. Oh, I bet he's talking about this. I bet he's talking about this. So we've taken a low, but we did not, and that low had a job to do, right? It got hired, and the people that hired it wanted to take that out, and it didn't do that. So do we go back to here? Is what he's asking. It's a little too early to tell, in my opinion, Tom Lee, and I'll give you my whys here in a second. One, we've set a high and we've set a low. We've swept the high. We've swept the low. You're kind of weaker here than you are here at this point. Now, this is where we broke after the high, and this is the supply. So as price comes up into here, we are experiencing some turbulence, but the highest time frame structure from the low still flows in this manner. So this has to fail, and honestly, I would just move this over to here at this point. This has to break, and then I would say, yeah, sure, sure. Back down to, could be all the way back down to there. Now, is there remaining demand down in here that could keep us from running the absolute low? Let's see what we find. I hate how it always throws me to a different place on the chart. We do have a 5-minute order block with imbalance down there that I would say would be the only thing to keep you from taking the actual low. But yeah, we gotta lose this flow here. We gotta break both. We gotta break these lows here, specifically this one. Yeah, we got to break this. We got to break through. What is that? $24 or something like that. And then I think you're likely pretty safe to target that. I do expect you're going to have some turbulence if you're shorting, probably in that zone as well. Like that could be what triggers your. Let me get this line on here. Come on, man. Come on, man. Does it go all the way up to here? Oh yeah, we should. Yeah, we should definitely take it up to there. Should definitely take it up there. I'd rather have a bigger zone than a smaller zone. This demand here could just trigger your lower high for your lower low. Yeah. So yes, it's all possible. There's just a couple of a little bit of future casting to make that assessment. Because I gotta see some market structure get taken out on that. All right, and then let's see. What's your longer term view for the market in general, and what's your thoughts on BTC dominant? Yeah, sure, I can give you that. Let's hop over to Coinbase chart. Let's start with the king on the Coinbase. That's where I'd tell Trump to buy a strategic reserve. Let's see here. What else we got here? Can we just delete everything on the top of this? It's just, why does my internet want to be so stupid all of a sudden? I like rebooted the modem this morning. The internet here sucks. God, it's so bad. All right. So long-term view, come on, man. I need you right now, internet. My long-term view is this right here. That's a gigantic problem right here. So either A, we need to accumulate here, because right now, currently, we have the setup for an incredible, for a very significant distribution at this dollar number, whatever this is. Yeah, 110,000. Right now, I want to see price come down here, and I want to see these areas hold, and I want to see it come back, and I want to see it break it. This is the most bullish thing that could happen in the coming months. In my opinion, that is the most bullish thing that could happen in the coming months. The thing that I am worried about the most is failure on this high. Because that, to me, we can see the last time we poked the all-time high and failed to close above it, that we've incurred a very significant retracement of 16%, right? If we were to do that again, if we were to poke just the tip out of there again and not close above it, and then start rotating back down through this range, I suspect that 89,500 will not hold. I suspect that you will have just completed a Model 1 distribution at or above $100,000 where every single person who owns Bitcoin is in profit. And at that point in time, I think we will be coming down to mitigate the prior demand range. So that's what I say on BTC. Coming down to 89 first before going back to the all-time high, pulling that low, having it hold, and then run up and break this. Break it, break it, break it, break it. Don't play with it. Actually break this thing. Yeah, like 116,000. I want to see it come up and get up into like the 116,000 region. And then I would say we'd be looking pretty good on that Bitcoin chart. So I'm giving you my bearish case and I'm giving you my bullish case on the Bitcoin chart. For your other question, I'm just simply going to refer to the total 3 chart because I actually don't give a shit about ETH. But we will take a look at ETH. I guess we can take a look at ETH because it is an important part of the puzzle. So your total 3, I want to see it. Total 3, I think, is set up right now for a pretty bullish move. I see that we interacted with the prior all-time high on total 3, and that caused a retracement back down to the prior demand range. That demand range has been mitigated, and afterwards it brought us back over a very primary low, aka acceptance back into this range, aka the low of the range has failed and it looks like it wants to rotate back up to the top of the range. So total 3 looks pretty good to me. Let's look at total 2. So we're bringing ETH into the mix now. We have down here, we had initiated, mitigated, continued, initiated, and mitigated. That's all we have done so far yet. So are we going to continue? You know, looking at a 1-week chart, there is no information on this to say otherwise. This high is weak in nature, and this low is, I was about to draw an L. This low is strong in nature. That is not an S. That low is strong in nature, and this high is weak in nature. So I would say even when you bring ETH into the mix, still looks pretty good. What would shit on everybody's parade is this. Personal opinion, I think that's what shits on everybody's parade. Was it fill in the blank? That's you aced it. Yeah, and I'm sorry because I think my stream is probably chunking along here because my internet feels terrible on my side. Yeah, so that would be some higher time frame perspectives on generally where the market is. You know, if you look at this chart on logarithmic, let's just do it. Let's just look at it on logarithmic. Yeah, that's a pretty important area. 73, that prior demand range is a pretty important area. It's a really important area. That area is so important that if you lose this low, I would tell you, well, we were looking at the top the whole time. Because to me, if you lose that low, we're going down, down. Probably down to here. Actually, come to think of it, probably down to here. Yeah, that's where this low here to me would equal this. And I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if this is where like the next bear market low gets put in. Because it would be, yeah, I mean, that would be what, 50% of this prior range here? No, it wouldn't. Ah, whatever. Hey, we're talking about shit for years, years away, years away. All right. Well, I don't have a ton more time. It's right about at that time where I need to start moving on. So totally down to talk to answer a few more questions. Um, fully down for that. Um, and yeah, if not, I think I'll probably kind of keep on keeping on, man. Yeah, I think I'll keep on keeping on. Did I delete it? There was a it was a 10-minute, right? I deleted it. So we were talking about this in the beginning of the stream. I was saying, oh, I missed this little 10-minute order block. That was supply. Because I really wanted the range high taken, but we never got it. Anyways, yeah. Okay. Oh, we didn't look at dominance. We didn't look at BTC dominance. I wonder if I wonder how I don't know. I wonder how I feel about this. I wonder how I feel about BTC dominance. Let's take a look at this chart and let's see how I feel about it. No, stay right where you were, man. Stay right where you were. Interesting. So we broke and then we just came back on it. All right, cool. Get rid of that. Here's what I'll say about BTC dominance. I'm not so convinced that I am not so convinced that this cannot come up while the total 3 chart is also coming up. I'm not convinced that those can't both be true. Yeah, I'm just not. I'm just not convinced that they both can't be true. But let's take a comparison to the Bitcoin dominance chart and let's compare the total 3 chart to it. No, whatever. Fine. Do it the hard way. And this needs to be on like the weekly at least. Okay, and then get that fucking thing off there, and then this is already on the weekly. Here's what I will say is the most relevant comparison between these 2 charts. Let me get it zoomed in. See if you guys spot it before I do. They are inverse to each other. I haven't looked at XRP since yesterday, but we can definitely take a look at it. So whereas the Bitcoin chart is barely above that wick, we got a little bit of candle body into it. The total 3 chart is purging the low. The Bitcoin chart is purging the high. Only question is the Bitcoin chart breaking the high for further continuation, the dominance chart, or not? I would say this is not looking to break the low and looks to rotate up. That seems more clear to me. This same range, we're talking about this same range. Bitcoin is at the high of it and total 3 is at the low of it. So maybe this rotates here while this rotates here. That's quite possible. That is quite possible. But yeah, I think there is an interesting comparison to be made between the 2 of those charts. And then we'll go take a look at XRP, and then I think I'm going to hit the road. All right. Yeah, so I was talking with Fine about this last night. They were sending me some charts on this. We were going back and forth, and I was saying I would rather short between this high and this supply somewhere in here, because this naked low is a problem, and you did indeed lose structure and backtest into supply on it. Prior to coming down for said naked low, the naked low, and just completing another leg of this prior flow that I had indicated. So where is it going, right? Where is it going? I mean, it could ultimately be going to $1.76, right? It could ultimately be going there. Let's see what we've got down in here and see if we can find anything to, unless it's got to be lower. Okay. So this is your last sell to buy. Let me back out. Yeah, there it is. That broke structure from left to right. Took a while, but it got there. That created an inefficiency. This is your inefficiency right here. So this 5-minute candle is an order block with imbalance. This whole thing is. So I'd say that would be the only thing holding us back from the 176. Let's see how that interacts with current price action. I would say it's a pretty it's not a high confluence zone in my opinion. I don't think that is something that really it could hold, guys. It could hold. It could fully hold, and that's why I'm putting it on the chart. But it could also not work, and we may just take the low. But yeah, I don't think these give you any love in here. That looks like that's going to want to get taken down there. So I would say XRP is still down, and it just goes back to reiterate that. That we need to reaccumulate in these areas, but that's not going to be doing it. Yeah, we need to reaccumulate down in these areas prior to taking another run up. Personal opinion, I think that's just what's going to have to happen. Yeah, I do. I just think that's what's going to need to happen. No, I want to delete stuff. Please make it go away. Make it all stop. Make it all stop. Yeah, boom and boom and boom. And structure on this has just been absolutely tits, rock solid the whole time. Structure on this chart has been incredible. Incredible. Yeah, really has. Really has. I love me some LTC. You think it's a good idea to long BTC for a scalp now? No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't. Nope. No, I do not. I do not think that is a good idea. Appreciate you asking, but I don't think it's a great idea. LTC, haven't seen that chart in a minute, so I will take a peek at it because I am curious and I do own some. And I'm the worst with spot. Oh God, this thing needs some cleaning, huh? Can we get rid of all of this, please? Can all that go away? Hmm. 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 Fuck me. All right. Well, I wouldn't look for longs until here, until the low again. And there could be that same little 5 minute. Well, let's just say it's in and about these regions. There could be that same little order block down there. But I mean, that's a pretty significant break that you put in here, and it confirmed supply in that region, and you have the potential to lose 4 hour market structure coming out of supply after filling the highs of the range with a 3 tap. That looks like a Model 1 redistribution. Um, ugh, ugh, ugh. I think LTC goes down, man. I think LTC goes down. This low needs to fucking hold. This 4 hour structure needs to maintain itself, or yeah, it's at risk of running the low again at 79.55. That's personal opinion. I think it's very much at risk of running the low at 79.55 again, especially if it loses 98.35 with 4 hour close. I think that's a fucking done deal at that point. Um, yeah, I think that's a done deal at that point. All right. Okay. I man, it's so much fun. You guys wouldn't imagine how much I enjoy this. I don't even know if I could put it into words. But unfortunately, I have to stop myself. I have to stop myself, and I have to go to all my other professional obligations and start letting all these people in outside that are stacking up at the door. So, you guys have a good day. Take care. Thanks for coming and spending a little bit of time of your morning with me. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you motivating me to be better constantly. And I wish you a fantastic Thursday. All right. So that is my closing statement. Oh wait, where's that fancy button? Where's that fancy button again? The one that like makes my screen like big. There we go. All right. Yeah. You guys have a good one. Take care. My closing statements.